Hi everyone, welcome to our brand new podcast, The Best Possible Me, where we look at relationship dilemmas, try to open different viewpoints and perspectives in hope if everyone does this, we all become the best possible me. My name is Cindy.
And my name is Ayala. And we're both social workers, but coming from very different cultural backgrounds and also very different generations.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a bit older than you.
That's okay. Yes, yeah.
So hopefully that will also help us look at things from different directions, different cultures, different ways of viewpoints, really.
Yes. Do we want to tell people where did this podcast idea coming from?
Yes, please do.
Right. Okay. I guess the idea originally come from me, where I listen to lots of podcasts that people read stories online, other people post stories, and then lots of these podcasts they're only talking about people's reactions. So it's about a story and other guests would react to this story. But I think there's so much more to discuss when people post their story online. Sometimes it's a cry for help. Sometimes they really wanted a different point of view. They really wanted to get some advice. And maybe between you and I, with our experiences and our different cultural background combined, we can offer different perspective and maybe we can be helpful.
Hopefully
we can.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into it, our first episode.
Yep. So welcome to our first episode. The way we're going to do it is we're actually going to read people's dilemmas that they've posted or sent us in different ways. Yeah. And we'll delve into it and look at it first by reading the actual story.
Yes.
And then by starting to talk about it and reflect on it.
Okay, let's start. This is our first story that we would like to share. I'm just going to read the story. The headline of the story is, Am I Overreacting? Boss contacted me regarding a bikini pictures I posted online. So here goes the story. I, 21, female, currently work 2 jobs, one of which is a part-time gig and a deli near my college. I've worked here for a while and I thought I had a good relationship with my employers. I recently went to the beach and posted some tasteful pictures of myself that my little sister took where I happened to be wearing a bikini. The next day, my boss, 50-ish, 60-ish male, messaged me this. So the person provided a screenshot of the conversation. We're just going to read it out. Would you like to be the boss?
I'll be the boss.
I'll be the girl. Okay, you go first.
I'll try to do a man's voice.
Boss voice, yeah.
Hi. See, you're scheduled for 4 p.m. shift. We need to talk once you get here.
Hello? Yes, I will be in at 4 p.m. Is something wrong?
No, but your picture online, I didn't want my employees putting their bodies online. This looks bad for the business.
I don't know you followed me on Instagram. In any case, my social media has no connection to this deli. The only thing attached to it is my name.
Yes, but I don't like this. We will talk at 4 p.m.
All right.
Yes, okay. I will see you then.
Then the girl sends a thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay. I will continue reading the story. So that was a message. I didn't know he even had Instagram. My profile is public, meaning he didn't have to follow me to see the pictures, but I still don't love the idea that he was checking up on my profile like that. My first name is part of my Instagram handle, but not my last. And I don't even have my university in my bio or anything. There is zero connection to this deli at all. So even if the pictures were inappropriate, which I still think they were not, it shouldn't matter. I feel like this is weird, but I told some of my friends about it. My friends are 19 female, 21 years old female, and they're saying that it's not a big deal. So yeah, how do you think about this story, Ayala? Yep. It's obviously a big deal for her.
Yes.
She posted online.
Yes. So I can see why her friends might have not seen it as a big deal, because I think that some people just will say, okay, so I'll talk to you, and you'll say yes, and there's nothing to fear. However, obviously it is a big deal for her. And if you think about it, the boss is in his 50s, 60s, possibly older than her own parents.
Exactly. She's young. She's only
very
21.
young.
Yeah.
And that could be very intimidating, especially that we don't know what her background is.
Yes.
How intimidated she is from men, how intimidated she is from her parents. In general, this might be a first job ever.
Yeah, yeah.
As
And
well.
she's trying to study at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously it is a big deal, and we should never make light of anyone's emotional
Feelings.
Yes. So that's the first thing here. I think that the boss needs to be aware of the fact that he might be intimidating the employee. First, because he's a boss, and he's the one that will eventually decide if she continues working there or not.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also because he's much older and
in a power imbalance, really.
there is a strong power imbalance here. But also there is a huge element here of boundaries.
Okay, what do you mean by that, boundary?
So boundaries basically putting a line, and that line could be very different to different people, between your work life and your private life.
Of course, yeah.
So and obviously we're talking about boundaries both by the employer and the employee.
Yes.
Okay.
So the male boss and the girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we start with the employee, so the 21-year-old, when you start going into your working life, you actually need to start putting a persona on that is different to your regular persona with friends.
Okay.
And it actually starts even before you go to your first job. You need to think of what email address, for example, I might use
Right.
when I'm
Okay.
sending an email. So if your usual email address is beautifulme 2003, for example.
Something a bit cheeky.
Or,
yeah.
something like that. We need to stop and ask ourselves, is this the best appropriate email, or should I have a different email for my work and a different email maybe for my friends or...
Yeah. And people do that. Yeah.
Of course, yes. And then there's also your social media account. Am I still happy to keep everything on public? Or are there certain things that I want to put on private?
Right.
Do I want to put my whole life on private or just certain things, and I think that different people will have different boundaries here.
Yeah.
But we do know that a lot of employees, when you're looking for a job, for example, might look at your profiles in order to kind of get a feel or a vibe of who you are.
Okay. Yeah. Is that usual? I do know for property manager, for example, if they're looking for a tenant, they would want to know what the tenant, like you said, getting a vibe of this person. They would look at if this tenant is out there partying, being drunk, bring lots of friends back to where they live. That could be a little bit red flag for like a property manager if they're looking for tenant for the landlord. But do you think lots of employers, when they in the process of recruitment, actually do that?
I think it really depends on the employer himself, and also how important it is and how thorough they are.
Right. Okay.
But yes, I am aware of people that
Some
actually
people
would do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's about, do you say very strong messages, political messages, or just general messages in your profile? Do you have only drunk pictures of you and your friends? Do you, all kinds of things like that? And I'm not saying that one is wrong and the other isn't. I'm just saying you need to be mindful of all these things and how they might be interpreted correctly or wrongly by your potential boss. We've really talked about in order to get a job. But once you're already in a job, is it still okay, for example, for your employer to continue looking at your profile online or not?
Exactly. And behind her back as well. Also, what's the purpose of the boss behavior and action? Either he was looking for her or he was looking up on something else and this girl's picture came up. Like, we don't know. We
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, and we also, again, at this point, we're really only reading her perspective of the story.
Yes.
So, for example, has he already mentioned the fact that he would like her to follow the Delhi's...
Maybe they have an official account.
Yes,
Yeah.
or something
Yes.
like that. And that's why he was checking if she's actually following or not, and maybe something like that came. We don't
We
really
don't
know.
know. Yeah.
There's a lot of things here we don't really know. But these are all things I think that people should be aware of and think of when they're at this stage of their life, starting
To work. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a career or a profession or just someone working at a deli while they're in school. They're actually starting their working life with all the social expectations
Right.
of selling yourself in a certain way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And there's also the power imbalance, isn't it?
Yes.
We talk about this girl must feel intimidated receiving a message from a much older male boss asking her to come in or talk to me before you start your shift. I will see you tomorrow. It's about the picture post online. What would that make this girl feel? Like the
100%.
power imbalance, am I getting in trouble? And we don't know. She probably really needed this job from a financial perspective
Yeah.
as well.
I would also say that the way he addressed her, so through Facebook, it's nice that he gave her warning in a way that he wants this to happen and he wants this to happen today after her shift.
The message, yeah.
Yes.
Before her shift, I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, or before her shift. But I'd also expect him to be much nicer. So when you're approaching her, start with hello, how are you? be
Exactly. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
it sounds like he's mad, or in his message he didn't voice it, but the way he was just blunt and straight away started, I think that wasn't that just made it even more intimidating to
No,
her.
very nice, wasn't it? Yeah.
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 So that came out, I think, as well. And I can see this girl all day being stressed until this meeting happens, especially if financially she has to have this job.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know. She
Yeah.
said she works 2 jobs, so she
Yeah.
probably needed the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saying that again, the boss might say, no, I just want to warn her or explain to her why this isn't okay, and isn't thinking of firing her, but in her head already she might be catastrophizing. And
Right.
he being a bit older should take that into account and try to make it more gentle, I think, for her.
Okay. Yeah. So if you were this girl, what would you do? So, or what advice would you give to this girl preparing herself, attending this meeting
Yep.
tomorrow?
So obviously she seems very stressed about it. I would ask her if she feels comfortable going and being alone with him during
Exactly.
the meeting, or if
Yeah.
she wants maybe a support person to be with her, a friend.
Or another staff who's in the restaurant
yeah,
or in the deli?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd also suggest that she goes back to her contract and read about expectations. If there are, if it's a real strong contract, then, for example, if there's nothing mentioned about social media there, then he can't come all of a sudden and because of that fire her.
Right.
So
yeah.
coming a bit prepared to this meeting, doing your own homework of what you're allowed and not allowed to do,
Yeah,
making sure
yeah.
that you did the right thing,
Of course.
or at least did something without knowledge.
Right. There might not be a contract. We don't know.
Yes.
We don't know
Yep.
what it looked like. We all had these part-time jobs when we were students. A lot of the times you might not even have a contract in place.
But even if there isn't a contract, there are laws in Australia, and I'm assuming in most other countries,
Yep,
of
yep.
what is okay and not okay in a workplace, and what entitles the boss to fire her or not. We also don't know how long she's been working there. So many
yeah.
times there's a trial period, and we don't know if she's in a trial period or not, because that obviously gives even more power to the employer, that he can do the smallest thing and he can, without any real reasons, say.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So all of these things, I think she can do some preparation work and at least know what her rights are.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So she comes more prepared, she comes more knowledgeable, and if he does something that is within her, that is violating her rights, she can stand up and say that to him. And again, if she's feeling intimidated, she can ask her friend, her support person, her whoever she chooses to speak up for her and advocate for her regarding her rights.
Right, and definitely, yeah. And there's also another way. We don't know what the office looks like. It's a deli. It might just be a room on the back of the deli. So if she doesn't feel comfortable being in a separate room, knowing her beginning photo has been seen by this older boss, maybe when she walked into the room, ask to leave the door open.
Yep, 100%. That's a great idea. Especially if she's saying, if he's looking into her bikini pictures, and I'm not saying that that's the
We
only
don't
thing
know,
she has
yes.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
But if she's feeling all of a sudden not only intimidated about her work, but also intimidated that this person is actually looking her out.
We don't know. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And again, it's about a feeling. I'm not saying that he is,
Yeah.
but if she has a feeling as if, oh, is he, trying to I don't know,
get on with her, or we don't know.
or something like that, then
Yes.
obviously keeping the door open or asking another colleague or friend to be there in the room with her, I think that's 100% appropriate.
Right. Yes. Okay. And part of our podcast is that we're really wanting to look at things from a different perspective. We don't know, like we said, the story we read, this girl shared is only from her perspective. So Ayala, would you like to share what would it be for from coming from the male boss, from the manager's version?
So looking at it from a very different perspective, we're looking now at the manager's version. So
this could be the background story
yes.
of the boss. Yeah.
So my deli is extremely important to me. I have saved for many years until I was able to buy this place and develop a good relationship in a family-friendly neighborhood. Because I bake most of the goods, I start at 5 a.m. and close at 7 p.m., working 7 days a week. I never married or had kids. My deli is my life. As I'm getting older and feeling the pressure on my body, I started employing workers to assist me during the rush hour times. Karen has worked for me for a while now. She's 21, young and inexperienced, but being a smart young lady, she picked up the knowledge quickly and had wonderful customer service skills. Overall, I'm very happy with her. Yesterday, when I was in the store, Mrs. Wise, a regular client of mine, asked me if I was on Insta. I told her that I have an Insta, but I don't go often in it. She laughed and she showed me what came up on her Insta. And she showed me a photo of Karen in swimwear. I felt embarrassed for Karen, but mainly freaked out, feeling that this may actually impact my regulars and hurt my business. After all, Mrs. Wise thought it was important enough to show it to me. She made it into a joke, but maybe she actually was very upset about it. So once Miss Wise left the store, I wrote to Karen a message asking her to speak with me once she comes to the next shift. I don't want to fire her, but she needs to understand how her behavior might impact the workplace and ensure anything she posts is in the private setting and doesn't come up on other patrons' social media. I hope it was an honest mistake because she is young, naive, and inexperienced, but I'm really mad and concerned that this might impact my business. So I have decided with myself that if she starts fighting it, or if she even ever allows this to happen again, I will fire her.
Right. Okay. So that takes a different turn, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, when we hear his version of the things, we can understand possibly why he was so angry or embarrassed when this happened. And from that perspective that we thought that he was looking for her or it popped in his, it came from a customer.
Right.
And we know that the customer is always right, and especially for someone that has worked
run a
so
small
hard.
business.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can understand that he's coming from a very furious place and an embarrassed place. And it really changes from our initial thought that we didn't phrase out loud, but I'm sure that everybody kind of thought it. Oh, he's a pervert.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we're all thinking that, especially with the age, with the
Yes.
gender different. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Seeing it that he wasn't at all, and in a way he just wanted to protect Karen from all these people that might have all kinds of opinions about her, and almost educate her about ensuring her own privacy.
Right. Okay. But at the same time, what could be, so Mrs. Wise in the story is the customer. What could be her purpose of showing this to this manager?
We don't know anything about Mrs. Wise. She might be very religious and think that this is
Okay,
inappropriate.
really conservative, yeah,
She
yeah.
might just be a lady that likes to gossip, and she thought that he would find it as a funny anecdote.
We don't know. Yes.
Again-
And she didn't say anything in that little conversation to be like, oh, Karen is really inappropriate. If she continues to do this, it's such a disgrace of the like that wasn't the language she was using at the same time, right?
No, she wasn't. But again, I can also see why the manager all of a sudden is freaking out, because for him, any customer that is dissatisfied
It's important. Yeah. Yes.
is very
yes.
important, and because his business is his life, from as he says it, from his perspective, it might really impact him. And again, is it a big thing? Is it a small thing? Another employer a manager might say, okay, so she said it, so what? But to him, understanding where he's coming from, his history, and why it's so important for him,
Yeah.
we can understand why.
To a degree, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, like you said, it's a business. It might like what the story says is really important to him. This is his whole life. He has no family, no friends. This is basically his life. Everything he's worked really hard for. But what attracts a customer to a shop, especially a regular customer? Would it really matter? One of the very young uni student who works here 5 hours every half a week, I don't know, post the pictures of herself online. Like why does that impact on the business, or what's the fundamental things that we're looking at that attracts a customer to a shop?
Yeah. And obviously we would assume that it's not who works or doesn't work and what they put or
Right.
don't put in their account. But, a lot of people
They care about image. It's about image,
care,
isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
Look at the image, look at and I think that we tend anyway as human beings to be fearful. So even a small remark that is nothing
Okay. Yeah.
might, in his eyes, be something, oh my God, I might lose all my clientele tomorrow, because we go into the hysteria mode.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Quote to quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, he can also take a breather and calm down and say, yeah, it's nothing, and make it nothing. Just like Karen's friends, the 19
Say
and
it's not a
21-year-old,
big deal.
said it's not
Yeah.
a big deal. Yes. But many times, a lot of things that when we hear that they happen to someone else, we think it's not a big deal. But when it happens to us and it touches us exactly where we're more vulnerable, especially where we're more worried or more
Yes.
concerned,
Yes.
then it is a big deal. And just like we can't belittle her feelings, I think we can't belittle the manager's feelings either.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. So in a perfect world, when the following day, Karen, which is the name we made up of, that's not the person who posted the story. So when the following day, when Karen meet up with the boss, in a perfect world, how do you see that happening? Like, how do you see the manager deliver that conversation?
So firstly, I would hope that it's the next day, so both of them have calmed down.
Okay. Yeah.
And rather than build more and more anger and more frustration, at least from the manager's point of view, I'd expect that he sees it in a bit more proportion and understands she's young and she just needs to learn. I'm also hoping that although Karen might have been so stressed for the last 2 days of, am I going to lose my job? She might come even more fiery and almost with a lot of ammunition
Yeah,
about
like
her
I didn't do
rights.
anything
And
wrong. It's my
yes,
privacy. Why are you looking at my
Yep.
photo? Oh yeah, what? Well, yes,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So I would hope that although she has done so much homework and is coming maybe a bit with that attitude, she might choose to be quiet and listen first to him, and
Of
only
course.
then use all that ammunition that he built up if she feels that he's actually targeting her.
Right. Okay. And for the manager, we would really hope he can calmly explain where does this come from.
Yes.
To say I didn't actively go up online and look for your photo. Mrs. Wise came to the shop. You know her, the lovely lady lives in the neighborhood. She showed me your photos. This is where this is coming from.
Yes. And I think that if Karen would hear that, then it might calm her down and make her feel like she's less angry at him,
Of course,
and understands
yes.
where he's coming from. And I also think that by sharing your vulnerabilities sometimes, you're actually opening a door to a much nicer conversation, because that
Yes.
will open Karen's ability to understand the boss and the boss ability to understand Karen. So if Karen actually tells him, look, this is my first job, I really didn't know, I'm really sorry if I did anything, and thank you for teaching me, I'm sure that he will really, really respect that, and just respect Karen even more, as he mentioned that he really likes her as an as an
Right.
employee.
Yes. Yeah.
I also would hope that he would start the conversation with the fact that he really likes her and he sees a lot of strength in her.
So validate her work
Yes.
first. Yes.
And give
yes.
her those compliments, which will also hopefully make Karen be a bit more open-minded to being more calm, and actually listen and not come with all that, oh, you can't do this to me. And
Not coming as a confrontation
Yes.
mode. Yeah.
Mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do know that when both sides come from an open-minded place, not with emotions and ego, but much more with, I want to understand where you're coming from, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Yes,
Then
yes.
together we usually can find a solution that both of us will be happy with. I'm sure that Karen might feel a bit embarrassed that it's not only her boss that saw the picture, but maybe other people in the community, and realize that even if it's a tasteful photo of hers, does she really want everyone and anyone, including all kinds of perverts out there, seeing her bikini picture? Or should she actually start developing that professional look, as we discussed?
Right, yeah.
And ensuring that only things that you're happy for everyone to know and notice about you would be in the public arena.
Right. She can have two accounts if she wants to. Lots
yeah.
of people do that. Have a private account and have a public account.
Yeah, and pictures, even if they're really, really cute, but that she's not dressed like a businesswoman, maybe not put in the in the public account, just in the private account.
Right. Okay.
So I think that it's lovely that we can look at things from different perspectives, understand why certain things really make one person react very strongly,
Yes.
while
yes.
someone else might not react strongly at all to the exact same story, exact same situation.
Right.
And respect everyone from where they're coming from, understanding that we all have history, and that history makes us who we are.
Definitely. And another mindset I think is really good to have is being curious. For Karen in this story, the girl, she can be curious and go into the meeting following day and ask in a really, like you said, respectful and curious way. Can I ask where does this come from? It's never been a problem in the past. Maybe I've posted similar photos in the past, but somehow all of a sudden this came up. And also, like you said, being honest about her feelings, like your message to me made me feel really uneasy yesterday. Coming to work today, I was really nervous, but I would like to know where does this come from?
And I think that's a beautiful point, because if she actually tells him how he made her feel,
Yes.
hopefully it'll make him think twice in the future
About the
how to
language,
approach and
yes.
the language. And
Yes.
So he can also learn from this and do things better next time.
Right. All good. So that's our first story. I hope you guys like it, and we will see you in our next episode. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. If you also have a relationship dilemma that you are struggling with and you would like us to bring it up here anonymously, you can email us on bestpossibleme.podcast@gmail.com. You can also find the email address in our podcast bio. Don't forget to like and follow our podcast so you get the notification of each new episode. See you next week.